Hi, my name is Dr. Mcayla Sarno, and I'm a brain training expert, a licensed psychotherapist, and I'm an E.M.D.R specialist. I'm also the creator of the first 5-day E.M.D.R intensive, and I've helped thousands of clients and students achieve success and change their thinking with several of my online programs and self-guided courses. You may not know as well that I'm also a wife and a mother. And I believe my purpose in life is to help others change their thinking, conquer their past, conquer the barriers that limit their lives, and create the life that they deserve to live. Okay, so first, I want to thank you for all the comments on my last video. In this video, I'm going to help you figure out how to finally live the life you've envisioned for yourself. I'm going to help you to finally overcome fear, the only way fear can truly be overcome. And that's by placing it in the right context, rather than circumstances in your life that don't require fear. I'm going to help you to learn specific exercises that will train your brain to think differently so that the self-doubt and second guessing is no longer a barrier you have to wrestle with as you move forward to living a better life. Could you imagine having the confidence and the success that those same people you look up to have? Just imagine, for just a moment, what it would feel like to no longer be preoccupied with what others think of you, to have such focus and clarity leading you in the direction of your purpose, because you have one. You know that you are meant for so much more. Whether it's more for your kids, more for your spouse, more for others to be inspired by your words, more success so that you can continue to do more of what you love to do. Because that's what success buys us, isn't it? The ability to do more, to reach more, to have the resources to invest platforms that will allow you to be that peacemaker, that motivator, that healer, that husband, that wife, that person that touches and inspires others, that offers the security that our families look to us to provide. This is my intention with my in-session program, to provide you a strategy and resources to change your brain and change your life. There are so many programs available to us these days that may offer some of the same things I'm offering in my in-session program. And while I stand behind many of those experts, I also know that as a clinician, as an E.M.D.R specialist, and E.M.D.R stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is a type of treatment that, among many things, quiets the areas of the brain that limits our potential. But as someone who's not only been in the field implementing treatment to thousands of people from all over the world, whether it be for addictions or trauma or a disgruntled marriage, for anxiety, fear, depression, mental disorders, or entrepreneurs who are simply feeling stuck, that to change automatic thinking, automatic behaviors, and automatic responses requires a much deeper protocol that behavioral strategies, otherwise the relapse rate of addictions wouldn't be so high. You see, as an addiction specialist and having worked and trained side by side many of the experts in the field of addiction, like Ken Seeley, who you may know from the television show Intervention, that it's very difficult to override core beliefs because what we think doesn't always match what we feel. And we tend to trust what we feel first and foremost. And we then respond to those feelings. But it's important to know that those very strong feelings are tied to core beliefs you hold in your subconscious mind, which is why your brain prompts you to listen to your feelings and act on them instinctively. And no matter how much you may think you don't have those limiting beliefs, if you struggle with fear or confidence or self-doubt, second guessing, a lack of clarity, and the list goes on, then you most definitely hold limiting beliefs. They are silently working behind the scenes, and your brain is programmed to align your life to them. You see, this is my passion in life because even as an expert, even doing this and helping so many people overcome these negative beliefs, I had one of my own that I wasn't even aware of, and that it was still active in my own life. You see, having grown up with a kind of childhood that, let's just say, it was the kind of childhood you would see on Oprah. And of course, I had to go through my own process of healing so that I could assure that my future would not be a repeat of a next generation of dysfunction. Just like you, I wanted a better life, and I wanted to reach my full potential. And for the most part, I did. I became a doctor, I became an expert, and I found myself collaborating with other experts like Chalene Johnson, Brendan Burchard, John Assaraf, these amazing experts who I looked up to, and now who I was sharing the stage with. My private practice thriving better than I could ever have imagined. A wonderful husband, 2 healthy children. I mean, I am truly blessed. And today I devote my life to helping people just like you reach their full potential and to change the beliefs that are holding them back, because most people don't realize these core beliefs are actively working in their lives. As a matter of fact, I didn't know that I still had one very silent yet very active belief that just recently almost cost me my own. You see, just about a year ago, as I moved into my dream office, the kind of office that you dream about when you're in graduate school, it was modern, posh, chic, professional, and was, well, my dream office. On the very first day in that office, I woke up though early, taking extra time getting ready, because it was as if I had finally arrived. You know, I had overcome so much in my life, worked so hard, and conquered a past that at one point in my life I thought I'd be destined to have. And that first morning, I remember waking up, putting on my tightest pencil skirt, highest high heels, and just basked in the feeling of accomplishment. Now I walked in, and right away I introduced myself to all the neighboring offices, and just moments before I would see my very first client, there was an explosion. You see, this very beautiful new office I had, it had one of those faux fireplaces, the kind that are wall mounted, and it had these really amazing dancing flames. But within just moments, I was engulfed in those very flames that weren't so amazing after all. I was engulfed in scorching hot flames that had attacked every inch of my clothing, and I was literally fighting for my life. Now, I instinctively ripped off the clothing that I could, but my skirt was, well, my tightest pencil skirt. And the zipper was stuck. Using all of my power, I tried yanking it down, but it wouldn't budge. And then in a split second, I remembered 4th grade when the firemen came to talk to us, stop, drop, and roll. And that's exactly what I did until the flames smothered out. Now my skirt had burned away, just the waistband and a shred of material were left. It all happened so fast. There was just this giant boom, followed by a rush of intense flames, followed by silence. Now silence because I didn't scream. I never yelled for help. I didn't ask for help, not until I put most of the fire out myself. Because deep down, I guess I didn't want to inconvenience anyone. To be honest with you, I just naturally figured that I would just put out the fire, clean everything up, drive myself home, and bandage my wounds. I never wanted to be a burden. And I could take care of myself, you see. And I never really put my thought into that. Because, of course, I was happy always being in control. Aren't most controlling people? But this way of thinking was all I ever knew. It's what I learned as a child. Do everything yourself. Don't complain. Don't ask. Do for yourself. Even when I'm fighting for my life. Even in a life and death situation. Now, I'd like you to stay with me on this for a second, because I want you to understand how my story is a lot like your story. Like many successful people, I learned from a very young age, the only person that I could really count on to care about me was me. And as a result of the most damaging beliefs I developed from childhood was that I was undeserving. Not only was I unaware this belief existed, I knew as an expert on the topic how much this was impacting the abundance in my life. This belief that although didn't make sense today, but our beliefs are formed very early on in our lives. So it didn't matter what I believed today. What mattered that day of the fire was the belief that was in charge. The belief that was the result of growing up never feeling like I could depend on anyone, not feeling accepted, not feeling good enough, not knowing if I mattered. Can you relate to that? Can you relate to the struggle as an adult to change your thinking, to change your beliefs, to learn to believe in yourself? Believe that you are good enough, that you do matter, that you do deserve, that you deserve abundance in your life, that you deserve to be happy, to be successful, to believe you are and can be a leader to others. But I had to develop skills I didn't learn as a child to get to this place, like learning to change my beliefs. Before the fire, I wasn't even aware that I had this belief. We often aren't aware we have them. And I guess I had never been put in such a vulnerable position before to really expose it. But once that happened, I knew I had to change it. And I also realized how easily I could have missed this. There's so many people, there's millions of people walking around with these beliefs and walking around completely unaware of them. People who need to go in session, really. But for many, it's not always an option. For some, their insurance restricts it, or they don't have access to experts or a therapist, or they just plain don't want to walk through the past because society teaches us to let go of it, focus on the future. Or they don't believe being in session is part of the solution. And then there's those people who have gone to session, people who've done the work, and now they're good. Yet, they still second guess them. They still second guess themselves. They still struggle with self-doubt and fear. They're still stuck and don't know why or how to fix it. And that's exactly why I created In Session, to give people a second chance, another option, a new approach that, as I see it, changes lives every day, which is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. I want to help you change these dangerous, life-debilitating beliefs because most don't know the powerful role they play in their lives. Most don't know that they exist, or maybe they do, but they don't know how to change them or what to do about them. This is what inspired me to take my own techniques, the very same techniques I use with those who sit across from me in my own office, just seeking to feel better, to the highly driven entrepreneur seeking to move beyond a plateau so that everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential. And winning no longer only happens to those more fortunate. Rather, success is up for grabs to anyone willing to learn. I created In Session to give you a solution, a strategy, an approach that removed the muscling through it factor, which meant teaching people that forcing yourself to do scary things only familiarizes you with scary things. Because no matter who you are, we all deserve the same opportunities. This is what you deserve. This is how you make changes that last, that become permanent in your life. This fire that I recently survived almost cost me my life, but it doesn't need to cost you yours. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change core beliefs, but how crucial it is that you do it this way. I'm going to teach you neuro-linguistic techniques to learn the language of your brain that's necessary for the recoding of it, and metacognitive skills to train your brain to think differently, and dual awareness to finally understand what others mean when they tell you to create a mindset for success. I'm going to teach you how to be who you are at your best all the time. And finally, how you will connect the dots so that what you think matches what you feel. So you can stop trying to sell yourself on the idea of being confident. And because I want you to see how this approach can take you farther than you could ever imagine, I'm giving you some of the techniques that I only provide in my highest level training program. Techniques that will blow your mind, figuratively speaking. It's an audio-based tool based on neuroscience and implemented by expert clinicians who work directly with mental states and change. You see, there are so many programs available for you to change your brain, to increase your confidence, and do all the things you want to change. But this is personal for me, which is the very reason I became a doctor and researcher, to dig deeper into the core components of change and to find the problem more efficiently, rather than throwing another pin the tail on the donkey solution at you. What you're getting is not only years of research, but years of clinical training, implementing with my own clients and students, and years of working directly with mental barriers. To be honest with you, There are no other programs like this, no other programs created by E.M.D.R specialists, no clinicians who offer what I'm offering you in session. There are no other programs that implement psychology and neuroscience and from a clinical background. This program is the stepping stone you need to lead you down the path of permanent change, so you can get a return on your investment from all the other programs sitting on your shelf. Because I know that most people who struggle with worry and fear and self-doubt and confidence issues will unfortunately continue to struggle for the good part of their lives, never achieving success because they're so busy looking for solutions without ever really defining the problem. Very deep-seated negative core beliefs are your mental barriers, but your approach to changing them has been your problem. In order to change your life, you need to learn how to neutralize their power and do so by learning a few new skills, taking a simple psychological approach. But here's the good news. You no longer need to torture yourself because throwing yourself to the wolves won't solve your lack of confidence. Repetition of scary tasks only builds familiarity of scary tasks, but learning to train your brain to think differently changes your entire disposition. It changes your life. It's a 4-step formula that includes metacognitive skills that is so easy to use. As a matter of fact, you were learning metacognitive skills in elementary school each time your teacher prompted you to think about something differently. Yet we stop learning to think this way as we grow. But in session is not just an informative program because there's work involved. You knew there'd be some work involved changing core beliefs, but I'm going to walk you through the entire process because what we're doing is utilizing an approach that only clinicians with expertise in this area could provide you, and at a cost that I can only justify as my way of living my own purpose. Anything is possible, and it starts with changing the way you think. You have the ability to transform your life. I want you to experience what many others have gone on to experience using my in-session program. So take a moment and listen to some of those who have experienced those changes after going through in-session.
I'm so excited about the changes that I've made in such a short period of time, and I know it seems like something different and you might not be sure about it at first, and it is different, but it's something that is really helpful and it can take you really far in a short period of time, and it's totally worth it.
It had to be the best investment I have ever made in my life.
In-session brought this level of clarity that allowed me to focus and stay focused on the task that I needed to complete. So I'm so thankful for the in-session program, and it's changed my life in so many ways, and I know it can do the same for you.
In a very short amount of time, I was getting to the core of what had hurt me and held me back my entire life. She made me feel so at ease, and her techniques work so fast and are so incredible.
So unique and such a different approach to therapy. Unlike even talk therapy over the years, I felt like I had no progress. She guides you through it and helps you reach the goals and makes you a happier, healthier person.
Before in-session, I was struggling a lot with feeling very numb. I felt a little bit like a robot, like I was kind of just going through the motions in life, and I wasn't very emotionally and mentally present. I never really experienced this before, and so I didn't really know how to fix it or how to pull myself out of it. So after going through the in-session program, it felt like 1,000 pounds was lifted off of my brain, which is, I know a lot of times you say lift it off your shoulders, but this was like off of my brain, and just the level of clarity that came into my life was amazing.
I realized that I saw things with so much more clarity, which was completely unexpected for me. That was an added benefit that I didn't even know I was going to get from this when I started it. You know, it helped me move pretty quickly through my emotional trauma and helped me resolve a lot of issues that I was having. in such a short amount of time.
Most people know me as a person who's happy and positive and really enjoys life. But what most people didn't know, and quite frankly, I didn't really even know, is that I was filled with anxiety and this overwhelming feeling that I just wasn't good enough. And I have no anxiety related to that anymore.
The biggest change that I noticed in my life was this incredible level of clarity. I'm now able to be present emotionally and mentally with the people that I love the most in my life, which is just such an incredible, incredible blessing.
I feel totally close to my family. I feel totally happy in my life. I feel very close to my friends. I don't use food in the same way that I used to. Stress doesn't get me down anymore. Stress is very minimal. And best of all, I just feel like the sky is the limit. I just feel like nothing can stop me.
I'm good enough. And not only am I good enough, I'm freaking awesome. And I believe it. And because I believe that, my relationships are better with my kids, with my family, with my friends. I've taken my business to a whole new level.
I'm happier, more organized, and I'm healthy. I feel good about myself because I went through the program. It has made me the happiest I've ever been.
The only thing standing in your way are your beliefs. In Session is my audio and video coaching program to help you with this. This is the program that allows you access the resources and the tools to change your life. You have the power to change them. And now you have access to the solution. Now anyone can go in Session. You deserve to believe that anything is possible. I want you to know that it's time today to finally take action. Ask for what you want. To become truly unstoppable, to have access to the tools you need, to no longer fear judgment, to stop worrying about what the heck other people think, to finally enjoy success and actually believe you've earned it. And not only that you've earned it, but that you deserve it. To finally silence that annoying little negative voice in your head. Today, I want to give you access to the tools, the solution. Today, I am inviting you to go in Session with me. In Session is an online audio and video program. It's 15 sessions that include informative metacognitive skills, exercises, and techniques to retrain your brain. You can stream this, you can download this, and you can go through this anytime you want. And it's not just audios and videos, as some of you are visual learners, so I give you as well all the transcripts. So you have those to refer back to. So you have In Session at your fingertips to use whenever you need. I'm offering my complete In Session program. Okay, so here's what you'll get in Session. First, just like we would if you were visiting me in my offices here in Southern California, we're going to take a moment to get to know each other. We're going to build a foundation of trust so you can feel confident that this will work for you as you gain an understanding for how this program will promote these changes that you want to see happen in your life. Okay, so next, you'll gain a deeper understanding of the brain and the science behind all of this. I mean, once you understand how your brain is wired, you'll use In Session as a tool to use each time you discover a belief that's become a barrier in your life because they pop up. Then you'll know how to use it. Today, 6 months from now, you'll know how to use In Session to help you. Okay, next, we're going to work on that mental state dual awareness that I've been talking about. I'm going to provide you with a foundation to live by. This is where you'll begin to recognize, because I'm going to teach you to recognize when you shift into a state that is creating a false perception, and also teach you how to shift out of it on the spot. And what's so amazing about this skill is that when you learn to shift from state to state, you feel the difference. Because we believe more than anything that what we feel is true. So I'm going to teach you not only how to be confident, but how to feel confident. This way, there's no question of it. Okay, then we're going to work on that integration. So I'm going to include a component as well from my highest level brain training program, which includes bilateral movements based on the concept of E.M.D.R. And what this does is give you access to integrate positive associations to negative thoughts and feelings. I'm doing this so what you feel and what you think match. So important. And so that you can experience how far you can truly take this training to learn how to master your brain and in a whole new way. And then we're going to focus on 3 crucial traits. I'm going to teach you how to move beyond your mental barriers by focusing on confidence, acceptance, and clarity. And with each trait included are tools that you're going to use to strengthen them psychologically, because psychologically is where we want to build our strength. And these include tools you'll use to anchor in positive thoughts and feelings, to change fear responses that are out of context, and change the association to those fear events by adding a positive association to them. This is brain stuff. Okay, then we're going to talk about your future. We're going to look at your future so that you can take action. Because I've seen this entire process play through thousands, and I mean thousands of times. And I want you to know exactly what to expect from this training and where it will take you. It's your future. But to live the life you desire, to have that future that you want, requires you take the steps now to transition and create a mindset that will lead you there. And if I may say so myself, the best part is that In Session is always there for you. I mean, 6 months from now, something might come up. And when you need it, you just pop in the audio. Changing beliefs isn't something you do one day and boom, you're good. You walk away from it. I'm a professional, and as you can see, these things come up. And when they come up, you just revisit the process. And In Session is right there at your fingertips. And it's so much more affordable. I mean, you could expect to pay $4,000 at a minimum for 13 sessions with a decent therapist. I personally have spent tens and thousands of dollars on talk therapy before realizing there had to be a better way. I have clients who, I'll tell you, fly in to treat with me from all over the country, spending tens and thousands on intensives, which means flights and hotels and time away from their families. Why? Well, because I get them the results and they can afford to treat with me, and they can do that live and in person. But not everyone has that kind of money to invest, and I get that. But everyone deserves to be happy. And that's why In Session isn't $1,200, and we didn't price it at $700, which we could have. I made In Session 3 things: effective, simple, and affordable. So instead, I've made In Session available for $297 because I want this to work for you. Guys, that's less than you would pay for a single session with me in my office. You get 15 sessions, and more importantly, the tools you need that serve you indefinitely, and even more. And this is kind of crazy, but in addition, I'm giving you 2 hours of previously recorded coaching calls. Now, these are calls where experts in the field that you're in ask me questions, the questions that you have, and I answer them for you all here so that you can take and implement that in your own life. And allow me to get carried away here for a moment with you. Something more, okay? Have you ever wondered what it's like to actually work with me live and in person, to be a fly on the wall in my office, to hear how a therapist, a brain expert, can walk someone through this process and changing beliefs? Well, in this bonus, you'll hear the live recorded sessions of one of my clients, permission granted, of course, so that you can hear her thought process, the fascinating shifts that happens as we change beliefs. Now, each of these sessions is narrated with my commentary so that you can begin to understand how this method is working for you, to know that you're on the right track. I know of no other program that offers anything like this. And just as I mentioned, I've also included just recently a few of my higher level brain training bilateral tools because I want you to see how far you can really take this. These are exercises that include back and forth bilateral audio tones based on the concept of E.M.D.R to support that integration of the left and right side of the brain to match what we think and what we feel. I want to do this for you because I want you to feel what I feel, what so many of the people that have gone through In Session feel, and what you deserve to feel. And guess what? You can't mess this up because it's also super, super simple. And it's always there for you. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to hear from some of those who have gone through my In Session program. Anita shares, I just recently had a meeting with a client. I've struggled with confidence my entire life and never feeling like I had a voice. But I'm proud to say I spoke with such conviction. Now in the past, I would have been so afraid. I guess I've become fearless. And I love hearing feedback like this. And by the way, did you know that therapists don't offer money-back guarantees? but I do. I stand behind this program. So even with this, I offer the best guarantee ever. Here it is. Take the entire program, download everything, all the audios, videos, the transcripts, take the whole thing and see if it works for you. If you are not absolutely thrilled with your results, you pay nothing. I will give you an immediate refund, no questions asked. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee for the entire program. But first, let me just remind you, because I know you're excited, but I just want to remind you of exactly what you're getting. Okay, so it's a 15-session online program with audios, videos, and transcripts. That's a $997 value. You're getting over 2 hours of previously recorded coaching calls. People paid $300 to $600 just to have access to the information on these calls. You're getting the in-session narrated live sessions. That's a value of $597, not to mention the bilateral audio exercises that are valued at $600. Now that's a value of almost $2,500. But I'm offering in session to you here today for $297. Listen, it's time. So many people are knocking through these barriers. Why not you? Why can't this be your time? You deserve this, to go into session. Let's do this together. This is your moment. Don't let your negative beliefs talk you out of this. And remember, there's no risk. Download everything. And if for any reason you're not 100% satisfied, we'll give you a full refund. But decide today to make this a breakthrough day. Here's your chance to make that change, and we'll make it together. So, I'll see you in session.